Hello, personal finance kiddos. I am here to talk with you about your assignment for tomorrow, which is a salary-based budget. So in this activity, you're going to choose your potential career path. So if you're a senior and know what you want to go to school for, you will take that career path. If you're a junior and have an idea of what you want to do, just use that. Let's try to be as realistic as possible because we want to get a real idea of how you're going to budget when you are in the real world. So you're going to determine what your take-home pay is. You're going to set aside money to pay yourself first, and we're going to do a budget. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to reflect on the process of budgeting just to understand what went wrong, talk about what went wrong, what you could do better, and how this project could be helpful to you in the future. So step one, you're going to click on this link here. You're going to open the salary-based budgeting worksheet and file, make a copy, and you're going to name the worksheet your last name, comma, first name, or first initial budget. Then you're going to close the original one because we're going to be doing all the work on the copy. Next, you're going to click on this link here, the career tool, search tool. That's where you're going to find the information about your future career. So you're going to find the industry. So if you want to go into nursing, to find like an RN, and you can even look at, if it's an associate's, bachelor's, master's, etc. And then under Job Outlook, you're going to click on local salary info and enter the zip code of the city you want to live in. So obviously, a teacher in an urban area, maybe like a city, is probably going to make more than somebody in Cassville. So you want to put in there where you plan to be. Now, let's not just put Los Angeles, because if you don't plan to live there, we don't want to use that salary from there. Oopsie. And then you're going to use the median value in the given salary range. So that just kind of means the average. So when you start a job, usually you're going to start at the lower end of the pay, and then obviously you'd work your way up. So we want to just use the average just to give us a good idea. Once you find your career, you're going to record the salary as your annual gross wage on step 2 of your budget worksheet. So if I go back, I'm just going to click this worksheet so you can see what it looks like. So step 2, you see over here that, still loading here, step 2. So they're on your instructions, it's going to go by steps. So step 2 is where you're going to type that amount here, okay? So now you're going to calculate your monthly gross wage. So your annual wage is going to be what it is for the whole year. So to get your monthly wage, you're going to have to divide that by 12 because there's 12 months in the year. So you're going to record that amount on your budget spreadsheet. While wage and salary are different in how you're paid, for this activity, both refer to the money earned. So we've talked about the difference between wages and salary, but from this point on, you'll just use the monthly amounts for all budget entries. So now you're going to use the ADP. So this is another link you're going to click on, and you're going to find your net pay, the wage you will actually take home, because our gross pay is not what we actually bring home. We've talked about this in the taxes. So we've learned that there's going to be state income taxes taken out, there's going to be federal income taxes taken out, there's going to be Medicare and Social Security taxes taken out. So what we actually bring home is a lot less than what we actually, our salary is, right? So we need to choose the state that you're living in, so then the percentages are accurate. And then you're going to record net pay on the budget spreadsheet as net wage monthly. Okay? Step 5, pay yourself first. So in this unit that you guys have just been doing, the budgeting worksheet number 3, I talked about percentages, the 50, 20, 30. Okay? So it also talks about paying yourself first. So this means you need to put aside a percentage of your net salary into a savings account. So you're going to choose, in this case, what percent you're going to put into your savings. So if you do 5%, it's low, obviously, but it's better than nothing. 10%, this is a good goal for your first career, right? When you take your first career out of college, you're probably going to be getting your own first apartment. You're going to be paying your student loans, etc. So you're going to have a lot of bills and probably not a lot of savings. So anything is better than nothing, but again, 10% is a good goal. 15, terrific savings goal. Maybe you got your college paid for, and that's a goal for you. So savings is going to be your net wage, your monthly net. So remember, that's after taxes times the savings percentage. So if you're going to do 5%, that's 0.05. If you're going to do 10%, 0.10. And that's how you're going to figure out the savings. All right, step 6. It's never too young to start saving for retirement. We've talked about that. You want to set aside another portion of your net salary to put towards retirement. So again, the same percentages, 5, 10, or 15. To take that, you're going to take that net salary monthly times retirement. So 0.05 if you're doing 5%, etc. Step 7, you're going to calculate the total amount that you're saving each month. So total monthly savings equals total monthly savings account plus monthly retirement. So those two figures we just calculated, we're going to add those two together, and that's going to be our total monthly savings. So step 8 is we're going to calculate the monthly amount that you have to budget. So savings is not an expense. It's the money you're setting aside for your own future. However, it's also money that you shouldn't spend on other things, so it gets taken out before you do your monthly budget. So you need to take your net salary minus your savings amount. Sorry, I just had to go let my dog in. So the amount to budget is net salary, your monthly net salary minus your total savings, right? Because even though it's not an expense, we want to make sure we pay ourselves first before we budget, and we need to take that out. So rent. To determine how much you will spend on rent, choose the type of living situation you see yourself in. So if you know you do definitely not want to live at home, please do not choose that because it's not realistic, okay? So choose the option that is actually realistic for you. So now after this slide, you'll see there's A, B, and C options, and that's going to be how much it's going to cost. So if you're planning to live at home or with relatives, ask how much they're going to charge you. Don't assume that they'll let you live rent-free. In fact, it's better to pay something so it doesn't come back on you, I guess, that you're just kind of leeching off of them. But if you've talked to them, put that in monthly. If you're planning on living on your own or with roommates, you're going to have to use the Sumper Average Rent tool to calculate your monthly rent, okay? So you'll click on this link here and put the city you want to live, what type of apartment you want, and then figure out what that cost is going to be. If you're going to live with someone, you're going to find the cost of the rent, and then you'll be able to divide that by the number of people living there. Don't tell me you're going to have 7 people in a 1-bedroom apartment. That's not going to work, okay? Let's be realistic there as well. Renter's insurance. You want to have renter's insurance to cover replacement of your belongings in case of theft or apartment-wide damage. It may seem like, oh, I don't need that, but you do, okay? Renter's insurance is not expensive. My husband and I had it, and it was very, very cheap. So you can just budget $20 for renter's insurance. Utilities. What are utilities? Those are the bills like heating costs, water, internet, cable, right? So if you're living with family, they may want you to pay part of it, those utilities. So you need to ask them. But if you're living on your own, you have to pay the full costs. With roommates, you get to split those costs. But remember, you divide those bills by the number of people. So those are something you have to figure out. So here is your choices. So for cable and satellite, you can either choose broadcast TV, which is free TV, or you can choose internet, basic cable, premium cable. Cell phone, you can choose your plan, internet, home phone, which most people don't have a phone anymore, but some do. Gas and electric, okay? So you're going to choose one from each category. And in this case, I believe they're making you choose a home phone, but if you're not going to have one, you can keep that as 0. So now you're going to figure out your cost of living. So you're going to have rent, plus your renter's insurance, plus your cable and satellite, internet, home phone, mobile, electricity, and gas. Next, step 13. So how are you going to get around? So if you're living in a city that allows you to get where you need with public transportation, and you're not going to have a car, you can use the figures below. If you will only use public transportation, you can skip to step 18. But more than likely, you're going to have your vehicles. So if you're going to have a car, you need to choose one of the following car payments. Okay? Car insurance, car maintenance, gas. How many miles a day? Are you going to live in the city where you work? If you chose an apartment about an hour away from where you work, how are you going to get there? So things like that. we're trying to keep this as realistic as possible, okay? Make you think about what life is really going to be like. So now you're going to calculate your total budget for transportation. So you're going to add all of those together, and that's the cost of transportation. You're going to choose which meal plan you're likely to follow for the cost of groceries. So are you thrifty, low cost, moderate cost, liberal cost? Like, are you buying, remember, eating healthier sometimes is more expensive. So where are you going to be in the cost for groceries? Now dining out. Do you work late hours and just go through drive-through every night? Okay, that adds up too. So you need to figure out how many meals a week you're going to be eating out. And then you're going to calculate your total monthly budget for food. So your cost of food is your groceries plus your eating out. 22, 23, and 24 are insurance. So you're just those are going to be how much those are per month. 25, hair care, hair appointment. Okay, these are the US averages, so we're going to use those. Other grooming, hygiene, medication, personal needs. Gym membership. If you don't work out, you do it outside for free, put 0. Otherwise, you're going to assume $58 a month for gym membership. Calculate your total monthly budget for health. So you're going to add those together. Student loan payments. Okay, if you did not go to any post-high school schooling, or you were lucky enough to have someone to pay it for you, congratulations on $0 a month. Probably unrealistic for most of you. So you got to figure out how much debt you're probably going to have after you graduate, and then we'll figure out what that loan payment's going to be. Discretionary spending. So far your budget is neglecting fun stuff like going out, entertainment, buying new toys, traveling, coffee from Starbucks every day. So in the wants category, you need to record how much you'd like to be able to spend on these items total per month. Remember, these are wants, not needs. So we may have, if we need to reduce our spending, these are things that would go first. Now it's time to figure out how much you're spending. So total cost, cost of living, transportation, food, health, student loans, and wants. At the end of the month, how do your finances look? Did you spend less than you earn? Do you have a surplus, which means there's money left over? That would be a good thing. Did you spend more than you have in your budget? If you have a deficit, that's bad, right? Because we need our total, in order to balance, your balance is going to be your monthly amount for your budget, so your income minus your costs. If your income is not as good, if your income is not as high as your costs, then you have a problem. So now that you've done the budget once through, you have a basic understanding of the components of a typical adult's budget. And then you're just going to, since we're not in class to discuss together, I'm just going to have you write down your answers for the reflection on the following slides. So one thing I quickly want to say about a budget is it's not exact numbers, right? Sometimes if you have fixed costs, for an example, if you have a cell phone bill and it's unlimited and you know it's going to be exactly $105.20 every month, that may be a cost that you definitely know you know that's going to be that amount. But a lot of costs like heat or electricity, it's all based on usage. So that's going to be different every month. So you can't necessarily, that's why it's called a budget, because it's not exact, right? It's our best estimate, our best guess at what it is. Now, a lot of times, if we're salary, we know what our income's going to be. The expenses may be the things that fluctuate. So again, this is our best guess, and we're budgeting to make responsible choices, but it's not going to be exact. And there is going to be variances at the end of the month. Those variances then are what can be used to make your budget for the next month, right? If you know that, oh, I didn't budget enough for heat and I'm in the winter, next month I have to up that. I can't just keep it the same. I need to increase that budget for heat. So things like that. If you, my time limit is coming up. I only have 15 minutes to talk here. So if you have any questions, this is pretty thorough. And there's a lot to it, but I really want you to take your time on this, and this is why I'm giving you just this assignment for the whole day, because I really want you to focus on this, because this is real life, and I want you to try to think about what life's going to be after you graduate or once you get into the real world, so that you can be prepared, and maybe come back and look at this someday when you are like, oh man, I don't know how to budget my money. So again, if you have any questions, please try. Don't just message me right away. Actually try to figure this out on your own. Okay, use your resources. And if you're really stuck, please give me a message or send me a message or give me a call. Okay, I look forward to seeing your budgets. Bye.